Hey everyone, it's Alexander the Real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for The Lovebirds, which stars Kumail Nanjiani and Issa Rae, and is another casualty of the coronavirus pandemic, where this movie was supposed to be released in theaters back in April, but Netflix picked it up and it's now a Netflix movie. So this movie follows a couple, played by Kumail Nanjiani and Issa Rae, as they are kind of on the rocks in their relationship. The movie starts off with them meeting for the first time, and then they just fall in love, and then cut to years later where they are definitely in a rocky spot. And they get in an argument on their way to an event, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a cop commandeers the vehicle to pursue a runaway biker, and then things get suspicious when the cop runs over the bike with their car several times and then runs away, leaving the two of them on the run to try to figure out what the hell happened and how can we catch this guy to prove that we are innocent. And who knows, maybe this murder and trying to figure out who the culprit is will rekindle their love. I mean, it worked out for Jimmy Stewart and Grace Kelly in the 50s, so why not in this movie? So before we all ended up in the situation that we are in right now, I would see this trailer and the trailer for My Spy constantly whenever I saw a movie in the theaters this year. And whenever I saw the trailer for Lovebirds, it honestly made me laugh. There's a lot in that trailer that got to me, but at the same time, I just thought to myself, you know what? This movie could either be really good or really bad. Unfortunately, this movie had to be really bad. I don't know if I'd say this is a hard disappointment because I don't think I expected that much going into it, but I at least expected it to be funny. I mean, you've got Kumail Nanjiani in this movie, who is legitimately funny. And as for Issa Rae, I haven't seen much of her. I know she's on that HBO series Insecure, which I've seen clips of it, but not really enough to have a say on how I feel about the show. And she was also in The Hate U Give, one of my favorite movies of 2018, which I don't even remember her being in that movie. But anyway, I thought the two of them could really have great potential and work together, and honestly make this movie pretty funny because, again, the trailers did make me laugh. Now, the one hint that I got that this movie might not actually be funny or good was that both these actors are credited as executive producers. And look, whenever an actor is a producer, sometimes it could work. Like with Tom Cruise for the later Mission Impossible movies, or Margot Robbie for Birds of Prey. Sometimes the star being a producer on their movie could work, but usually when it's a comedy, it doesn't. And the biggest problem with this movie is that neither of these two are actually very funny. Not that they're talentless or anything, but when you watch the movie, you can tell that there's really more of an outline than an actual script, because a lot of their humor comes from just ad-libbing. They will go on these random conversations that last for way too long, and they're incredibly obnoxious conversations, and do not at all reflect how real people talk. There are a few moments in this movie where the two of them act like a real couple and like real people, but that's near the beginning of the movie and one tiny section in the middle. When the plot actually kicks in, the movie just loses all sense of chemistry or even charm. Now, as much as the ad-libbing did not work for me, there were some scenes of physical comedy that actually did make me laugh. I never laughed hard when it came to this movie, but there were definitely a few moments that made me chuckle. One of them you see in the trailer involving the horse, where Kumail Nanjiani goes, "So is it gonna shit on me?" And then the horse just kicks him in the chest, which by all means should have killed him, but you know, it's a movie. That part made me laugh. And then the movie's final gag, like the very last thing you see before the end credits, made me laugh as well. But there's not much else to elaborate on beyond that. When it's not those physical gags happening, the rest of the movie's humor just does not work at all. And again, it's due to the ad-libbing of these two actors. It's one of the things that I can't stand in these types of comedies, where you can watch a comedy and tell that there's no legit script and they just kind of cut the camera and let the actors do whatever they want. And with a movie like this, where they're kind of in a situation that demands a script to be written, you can't really have your actors improv. One of the movies that I think about that handled this kind of premise a lot better was Game Night in 2018. Because when you watch that movie, not only is there some sort of script that the actors can follow, but that movie also goes above and beyond of what a comedy like this would do. From the unique camera shots to the music, they really did a bang-up job of making that movie an above-average comedy. And this movie is just, at best, it's average. It's just not very funny. The plot's very contrived. The ending of the movie is totally ridiculous. And there are just a lot of plot holes that I honestly could forgive if the movie was funny. But again, outside of those few chuckle-worthy moments, I can't recall any moment in this movie that made me laugh. So it never angered me or irritated me to the point where I say this movie should burn in hell. So my rating is don't waste your money on this, even though technically it is a Netflix movie, so the only thing you would be wasting is your time with this. If you want to see a really good comedy that has a thriller-type plot to it, then again, go watch Game Night. I've said this countless times, but that movie is so underrated and definitely deserves a lot more praise. And there you go, that's my review for The Lovebirds. Now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? If you have seen this movie, do you think it deserved to be seen in theaters, or do you think Netflix was the best place for it to go? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, leave a comment, support my Patreon page, follow me on social media. Until then, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.